What's going on, y'all? Myke Seatown here. So on October 19th, I'll be hosting the very first Mood House Festival, which will be taking place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Some of the acts performing are Moody Black, Chesky, Dalek, Dope Knife, The Difference Machine, and way more. It's gonna be a good time. So if you live in the Minneapolis area, or you're planning on being in town around this time, head over to moodhouse.us and grab a ticket. And I hope to see y'all there.
Fuck every rapper that you heard of.
This is what it feels like when you realize you're not eternal.
Back to back on this verse, I let the mannequin first.
That Hip Hop album review, JPEGMAFIA, All My Heroes Are Cornballs. Before we get into the review, look, we love your support. Whether that means you just watch us and that's it, that means you hit the subscribe button, you hit the bell notification, or you just like the video. But if you want to be the ultimate supporter, go over to Patreon. Have a say-so in what we do as a community. But if you don't, that's cool. Just do something else. Hit the like button. We enjoy that support.
So what's interesting about this album is that it wasn't part of the Patreon poll. For those of you watching, we did a poll about what albums to review next on Patreon. So that's kind of what Feefo was speaking to, and Earth Game won that one. But when I was on the YouTube channel and I was just looking at the videos, this was, or JPEGMAFIA's Veteran album was the third most viewed album historically in the last 48 hours when we picked it. So people have been, I guess, you know, looking for it. I just thought that was interesting because we were discussing about whether to do it or not, and then I think when we, you know, all agreed, I just happened to look and say, oh shit, people looking for this nigga.
So back to the review. JPEG, All My Heroes Are Cornballs.
Bumping the wheel.
Huh?
Bumping the wheel.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I jumped.
No. And I've always said it, like, JPEG from a sonic perspective, he bumps. Like his music production, like, look, I gotta give people credit where credit is due. And we just had Yo on the show, a writer for DJ Boo, friend of the show, That Hip Hop. He was on Is the Mic Salon, so make sure you catch that. He said one quick thing before we had to leave out of here, and I 100% agree with him. And I think this has been my sentiment about JPEG. I give him mad credit for his creativity and his pushing the boundaries of the sounds and the things that he does, how he could just go from rapping mellow to fucking screaming in your ear, and the shit sounds dope.
Or the singing.
Or the singing now, yeah. Right? Like I was like toward the end of this shit, what was it? Basic bitch tear gas.
Oh, with the scrubs thing.
Yeah, the scrubs thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I love that shit too. He's funny, he's hilarious, he's a lot of things, but somebody I go back to, he's not. Like, what does he say that is profound or just grabs me? He don't do that for me. But I have to give him credit where credit is due, because I think he is an amazing artist and he pushes the boundaries of hip hop, and he does it well. Like, it's not like he just does this shit to just be different and be like, oh yeah, I'm just different, you gotta like it because I'm fucking different. No, you could tell that he executes the strategy. It's just the strategy ain't for everybody, and it's not for me to enjoy on a personal level. But putting my, you know, critique man hat on, bruh, like, you did your thing. It's just, it's not enjoyable for me. Like, it doesn't have the replay value for me to be like, damn, bro, that shit was so dope, I gotta listen to this. Nah, like, for the review, I can give you all the credit in the world. It don't, like, there's no wanting to come back to it. It might bump in your whip. It might bump in your whip, but just not mine. Like tracks that I did, like Keenan and Kel. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was fucking, like, he did that shit amazing.
Yeah, I like that. Is that the one that the guitars came in on the second half when I think it was obviously supposed to be Kel's part? Yep. Yeah, I thought that was dope.
Yeah, even Jesus Forgive Me, I'm a Thought. Like, so look, like, one other thing that I really like about JPEG is, you know, and I talk about album titles, track titles. Just looking at this, I don't know who picks better fucking track titles. Like, this shit is fucking hilarious. Jesus Forgive Me, I'm a Thought. Keenan and Kel, BBW, basic bitch tear gas.
I think one of the best ones for me was beta male strategies.
Yes.
But then he opened with Twitter, with like, say that shit you said on Twitter.
Yep.
And you know how people, you know, act one way and be another, which obviously plays in
Thought
someone.
tactics.
Yeah.
Like he's fucking hilarious, and he's an amazing artist. It's just not for me.
Yeah, man. Listen to this. It's, I think just like with his last one, it's like for me, it's frustrating because this dude can rap. Cause like even like the Jesus Forgive Me, I'm a thought. I like the way he started that shit. Like what he said, like pray for my children that I'm still alive, something like that. He was like rapping, pray that is murdered, pray when I shoot is a homicide. Pray so, you know, like I'm like, okay, damn, like he's rapping. That song is another one, Free to Frail. I'm like, damn, JPEG rapping on this shit. Like I guess the type of style of rapping that I like from him. But yeah, a lot of these songs are just so like just disjointed to me and just all over the place. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, God, I'll be listening to it and then something happened. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then it come back and I'm like, wait a minute, this still the same track? I'm like, this is still the same song? I'm like, come on, dude, like just calm down. Like when I feel like when JPEG is like, when he find his pocket, he can find his pocket. Like he's good. I'm like, damn, like dude, you can rap. Like what the hell? Then he just get on this whole different tangent sometimes, and then it stop and you hear some noise and shit, and then it comes back to rapping for a little bit, and then you hear some more noise, and I'm like, fuck, like it's just too much for me. Like it's too much for me to handle. It's like I wanna, and even the last joint, that's dope as hell. I'm like, damn,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Like,
Yeah,
I
I'm
like
like,
that
That's
shit.
my favorite one.
Yep.
yeah, I'm like, god damn. So like it was frustrating me just every time when I listen to this. I'm like, fuck, this dude is nice. He's dope. He's not whack as hell. You're just too disjointed for me, dude. Like you need to have, in my opinion, you need to have better song structures. I think your song structure is just too wacky for my liking, and yeah, that's it. I mean, that's the only thing I really complain about that's frustrated me about this artist. Even with the last album, it frustrated me when we did Veterans. Like, damn, I hear it. Like,
Yeah.
I can see why like Myke loved this dude so much. I mean, like this dude can fucking rap really good, but like just the sound and how you structure songs and how you do your tracks, it's just not to my liking.
I feel like he abandoned song structure on this one, somewhat compared to Veteran. Because I felt like on Veteran, if I remember correctly, his rhyming was a little bit more traditional, and the music was the one that was a little bit out there. And this one, it sounded like he just said fuck all that and just decided to just completely just go like further left, right, however, whichever extreme you want to identify with or pick. And yeah, it was I was somewhat taken aback by it because I definitely didn't expect that. And it felt like he wanted to be I don't know what he wanted to do, but based on what I heard, it was definitely I don't because it came in and I expected to get some of what I got last time, and I was like, I'm gonna enjoy the rapping, the beat's gonna be like but you know, whatever. I didn't get any of that. I got just, I don't know what I got.
Yeah.
But the most interesting thing is that I shouldn't like this, but for whatever reason, I do, and I don't understand why. There's nothing about the
but
beat.
you can't explain it.
I can't explain it. Like it's like weird. There's certain moments where he'll come in and I'll be like, oh, that's dope, and then he'll just go out and do something else. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I love the way he incorporates the singing in here, because I don't know if and I can't remember if he did that last time, but how he hit the high notes with the auto tune.
Count your blessings for real.
Yeah, like that shit was funny, and it shouldn't work, but it works. Like, and that's kind of what I got. There are a lot of things on here that shouldn't work, but in this weird sort of way that it does, and it's the sound, his rapping style, the singing is inaccessible, but it has a certain accessibility to it. I can't fucking explain it, but I find myself listening to it more and more, and maybe I'm trying to crack a code to it, or maybe the more I listen to it, it becomes a little bit more normalized for me. Because the first time I listened to it, I was just like, what the fuck is this? Like, it was just like, I was annoyed. I was just like, this is frustrating because there's nothing that I can grab on and hold on to. There's nothing tangible here.
Right.
But yeah, I think like the more I listen to it, I think things started to kind of settle down, and all the noise that I started to hear kind of started to go in places. And maybe I was able to kind of say, okay, I'm gonna just put this over here, and I'm gonna just grab this part right here and listen to it. But you know, like, so yeah, I don't know, I can't explain it, but in some weird kind of way it works.
So do you see yourself coming back to this project, like just in your free time?
I would play this more than the veteran, and I think because I'm trying to understand why there's this appeal to it that I have.
So it's a social experiment.
Maybe it is. maybe it is. But maybe it is. Because there are things like, at least with veteran, the rapping, I could just grab onto that, hold on to him, like, yeah, this motherfucker rapping his ass off. On here, he just kind of all over the place rapping. But then he'll come back in place rapping, and then they kind of go off. It's just like, I don't know.
We all took our turns this time. This was not a
I know Rod would not allow this.
No, he wouldn't.
But we're taking it back to the old school.
I loved this album. It definitely was not what I expected when it started off, because I heard the single. He released Jesus Forgive Me, I'm a Thought. He released it as a single. So I heard it and I was like, all right, he's definitely getting weirder. I didn't think that the singing was gonna be prominent throughout the album. But yeah, I loved it on first listen, but I definitely felt what Ken felt, where I was like, what the fuck is he doing? But a lot of times when I put an album on and I think, what the fuck are they doing? It definitely makes me go back because I like trying to piece it together. I never did piece it together. I don't know what he was going for, but I still enjoyed it. Beta Male Strategies was definitely my shit. And I did like the whole Twitter thing, but I like that line where he's like, don't get capped by a motherfucker in a gown. And if you look at his promo, I don't know if that was really like some kind of comment on masculinity or if that's what this whole album is. Because if you look at the promo, it's always him in like some weird flowing gown. And he has a line on here, I forget what song it is, but he says something about, a rapper dressed up in grandma's clothes or something like that. So I don't know if there are underlying things, because even if he doesn't sound as aggressive, there's a lot of stuff on here where he's talking about aggressive shit. Grimy Waifu, the whole thing being about guns.
Yeah.
Like PTSD. That was one of my favorite ones too, because I like that line where he says, biting crackers, but you wonder why you're anorexic. Where it's like he's talking about, I assume at least, he's talking about black rappers kind of abandoning that culture and just kind of copying what white people are doing these days, and then wondering why you're not really making it, or like you have no substance. Because he also has a line about how your deals are looking like Brexit. Where he's like, you're getting these record deals and they really aren't working out too great.
Yeah.
But I thought the title track was dope. It had a lot of really it had a really weird beat because it was almost childish sounding. And I think his singing worked really well on that one. But all those good things said, Prone. Sorry, Prone, I gotta talk about Prone. Which I'm surprised nobody here talked about that song, because I figured that would be like everybody here's favorite song, because that was like the darkest one, and that was the one that was a little bit more rappy rap. But that shit was fucking dope, and it has, to me, one of the best lines on this album. He says, one shot turns you from Steve Bannon to Stephen Hawking. I was like, wow. God damn! There were a lot of gun lines on here. So I kind of feel like there is an underlying theme, but I'm just not quite getting it yet. So maybe I'll get it in a month, maybe I'll never get it. I don't know. But there were some misses. And they didn't come in until towards the latter part of the album. Around Basic Bitch Tear Gas, I lost attention. Because I didn't really care for that much. I didn't really care for Dot's freestyle that much, because that was the one where the sound was going in and out. And I assume he's doing it on purpose, but I don't really get why. And then Buttermilk Jesus type beat. I don't really get what that was either. But then it brought it all back with Poppy I Miss You, because that was my favorite song on the whole album. because that was the one that had the shit about redneck tears, what a beverage, which was a fucking dope ass line. And then he had the shit about young swan, I'm a seer, which is a nice swan reference. But I liked Veteran more than this, but I like this in a different way because he did a lot of shit that didn't harken back to Veteran. He's basically like, look, I'm not gonna recreate what I already did. I'm gonna do something completely different. And that's why I feel like he was making this run of, you're gonna be disappointed. You're gonna be disappointed because if you were expecting Veteran walking into this, you're gonna be disappointed because that's not what he's giving you. But yeah, man, I think this album's great.
So I'm curious, do you guys think that like the abstract nature of the album is like outshining the quality? Like when you think of the album, do you think more of the weirdness, or do you think about like the enjoyable songs or the enjoyable lines? Like what shines through more?
For me, definitely the weirdness, you know, and I think that's one of the things that's most appealing because a guy like him, I feel like can't recreate what he's done. I think he will always try to do something different and not give people the same thing over and over again. I think that's just who he is by nature. And I don't know what the next album could be. I don't know how much fucking weirder it could get from this. But if anybody could figure it out, I just got this weird feeling he could do it. You know, so I think that the abstract, the weirdness of it is the most appealing part for me, even though it shouldn't be.
For me, the weirdness of what he's trying to do sometimes outshines him, and I think that is, for me, a little unfortunate because I think he is such a dope rapper that sometimes the weirdness just overshadows how dope he is as a rapper. Because I think he focuses on being too weird or matching this production, right? Like, I want to say it was like one of the first tracks. Like he's rapping, all of a sudden it has like a skip, like, and like he raps to like he's on that, which is dope. But like to B's point, it takes away like from the dopeness of the rapper sometimes. So that's why like for me it's just he's not for me because I don't hear enough of the rapping.
When I think about the title, I think about like you expect one thing, you get something else.
100%.
And
100%.
you know, it feels like that's all through this album. Like when you go to the album title, I think he opens that with nigga, 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 and it sounds like he about to just go in, and then it just goes and does something completely different than what you expect. But he sets you up to think he about to be on some rap shit, and you don't get the rap shit. Post-verified lifestyle, I think, is interesting because, you know, it's like, you know, people put like these what's the word? Like stuff like a check mark means something, you know, and what happens when that's taken away from you? So I thought that was interesting, and I did like basic bitch tear gas. It was just something about him redoing Scrubs, the way he did it.
When I was listening, I'm like, okay, so is he gonna change any of the lyrics?
He did.
Like one or two.
I think that if there's something that seems like it's very large, then I think there's a reason for it. And I feel like if he made a whole song that's like this, there's a certain reason for it. We just don't know what it is. Like there were some, I can't remember which song it is, but there's a song where he's talking about how he doesn't really control his popularity and how he got popular very, very, very quickly. Oh, the shit is out of my hands. That one, where I feel like it takes a lot of listens to start getting through the weirdness of it and start picking out little pieces of what he actually means.
Yes.
I just don't think we're there yet. Like it might click. Well, not for you. You just fuck it. You probably say fuck it too. Maybe at some point it'll click more for me where I'm like, oh, now I get it. I'm just not quite there yet.
Because I definitely think everything is connected to the album title, the title of the songs, some of the messaging. And I haven't looked at the promo, so I'll probably go check that out because I'm curious.
Cover. You see the album cover on there? Look at what he's wearing.
I know, but I
think he's weird. So
I was just like,
but question, because you said you've listened to it, but you can only pick out certain things, but it's not connecting the dots yet for you.
Not the whole thing.
Not the whole thing.
Yeah.
But how enjoyable is the album, even though it's not all the way connecting for you yet?
I like music like this. I mean, I know not everything has to be, figure it out.
Yeah.
But I mean, I enjoy this in the same way that I would enjoy a Moody Black or I would enjoy a Death Grips. I like that it's disjointed. I like that he takes chances with his music. The part where you're talking about where there's a skip and he rhyming over the skip.
Yeah.
I enjoy shit like that because it makes my mind think, damn, because he produces everything. So where it's like you sat in the studio and you made this beat knowing that you'd have to rap to that, and he does it. Like, I think that kind of shit is really dope. And I like people that say, you think rap is supposed to be this way? Well, I don't agree, so I'm gonna do it this way. I enjoy, and for us to be in 2019, for people to still be finding new and different ways to make rap weird, the fact that we just did Earth Gang, who's making rap weird, but in a very accessible way. Then you have this that's making rap weird in an inaccessible way. I like shit like that.
So Feefo, like you say you like how it sounds, but it's still like it doesn't connect. Does it feel like he's trying too hard? Is that like your major problem with it?
It's not that he's trying too hard. It's just, it's weird, and the shit he talks about just doesn't resonate with me. Like his shit is just too weird. It's just too far to the left. Like, there's nothing profound that I can use and relate in my life, like at all. Like, he don't rap for me. Like, he don't represent me and what, like the things that I like in music. He doesn't. But that's not a negative on the artistry or the creativity of JPEG. It's just me trying to relate to him. Just that doesn't mix. We're oil and water. Favorite tracks for me, give me Jesus Forgive Me, I'm a Thought, Keenan and Kel, Basic Bitch, Tear Gas. I'll stop there.
Jesus Forgive Me, I'm a Thought, Free to Frail, Papa I Missed You, Grimy Waifu. That's it. That's all I can get. And prone.
Jesus Forgive Me, I'm a Thought, Beta Male Strategies, PTSD, Prone, and Poppy, I Missed You.
Give me Keenan versus Kale, Beta Male Strategies, Grimy Wafu, Basic Bitch Tear Gas, and Poppy, I Missed You. Very interesting album. Coming off Veteran to this project. I like the fact that I'm interested, even if it's in this weird sort of way. I definitely want to figure out the underlying themes that you have going on in this album. There are a lot of things on this album that I shouldn't like, but for whatever reason they seem to work for me. More than the last one, even though I definitely prefer the rapping on the last one over this, obviously. But yeah, I applaud that you're different. I applaud that you're challenging me and others in hip hop. Kind of even borrowed from Feefo, even if it won't always connect.
JPEG, if you're watching, great job. I did not expect this. I will not say I was disappointed, but I thoroughly enjoyed this. I'm not gonna say it was a perfect project because there were songs that I didn't love, but I liked the fact that you chose to challenge the listener's sensibilities in a completely different way than Veteran. Not a lot of experimental artists do that. They'll figure out a formula and they'll kind of stick to it and they'll keep challenging you in the same exact way. I like the fact that you said, nope, I'm not gonna repeat this. I'm gonna do something completely different and totally fuck up what y'all expect. So I really like this. Hopefully I'll like it even more. Maybe the songs that didn't connect with me originally will connect later on. But the fact that I got 95% of this album I really like, all I can say is fucking great job. Keep doing what you're doing.
JPEG, if you're watching, clearly don't take my opinion for what it's worth, because I'm pretty sure you definitely have a fan base and that follows your music and love your music, Myke being one of them. But yeah, for me, it's just like, I actually didn't even plan on listening to this album, but just only did it just for the review, because just based off my feelings from off of Veteran. This one, almost same thing. It's like, dude, I know you can rap, but it's just your song structure is what throws me off every time, and I don't want to be challenged. Like when Myke says, if you challenging the listener and stuff like that, I don't want to be challenged because I know what you're capable of doing as an MC, but this what you're doing is just not my cup of tea. So that's it. But keep doing what you're doing. I mean,
For other people.
Yeah, for other people, they love it. I know people that's in the comment sections or whatever that watches, they are huge fans of you as well, but just didn't hit with me.
JPEG, if you watching, I just want to give you a big shout out for being authentic, your authentic self. You know, Huey asked earlier in the review, like, I feel like you're trying too hard at this, that, and the third. You're not, bro. You just being you. And I think that a lot of artists, even in today's age, still don't know who they are. They still try to find themselves, and you know exactly who you are. But to B's point as well, it's just, your music just doesn't connect with me, but I have to, again, like, I just feel like a broken record. Like, I got to give you props, bro, because you are dope. You just don't make music for me. You know what I'm saying? Your fan base is growing. It's already big, and it's growing even more. There's people that watch us, that love you, that I don't love your music that way. You know, and I can only be honest and truthful with you, but you are dope. And I think that, to Mike's point, you are challenging the listener every single time in a different way. So again, mad props to you, kudos to you, all the success in your career. Peace.